Hello friends, we are here today in Revelation chapter 16. So what we have here is, we're kind of at the end of the tribulation. You know, this is where things are happening. This is where it's all going to get done. You know, there's more left in this book, but we know that this is toward the latter half of the tribulation. And what we have here is the last round of God's judgments. And it's interesting, you know, in these judgments, I think after the third judgment, it says that these people still don't turn to God, which means that they still could turn to God if they wanted to. There's still salvation for these people, and yet their hearts are so hardened that they don't turn to Him. So these are the 7 bowls of God's justice. So I'm going to try and see if I can remember them. So the first one is sores, and it's like boils and sores that come to the people that have the mark of the beast. The second one is the sea. Basically, the seas and the ocean all turns to blood, and everything inside it dies. And so, you know, it's undrinkable water. There's no water left. This is one way we can know that this is toward the end, because because there's no more water to drink. You know, the third one, the third bowl, is that there's going to be no springs and rivers. They're all going to turn to blood. So number 2 and 3 are very similar. One, the sea turns to blood, and one, the rivers and the springs turn to blood. I'm trying to remember the fourth one. I think it's the sun. I like how it says it in this one. It says that the angel pours the bowl on the sun, and it makes it so that the people are burned up by the sun. Now, I don't know exactly how it's going to happen, but I kind of feel like, you know, we've kind of experienced that. You know, there was ozone depletion. You know, there's all sorts of things that can make the sun, you know, really, really fry us. And we didn't even experience, you know, big ozone depletion during the 90s. You know, it could be a lot worse. You know, the sun could just burn up everything if we didn't have a good atmosphere. Anyways, so that's number 4. So number 5 is darkness. Darkness comes over, you know, the land of the beast. And then the 6th one is the Euphrates is dried up. Now, I mentioned earlier in this book that the Euphrates is really the gateway to the kingdoms of the east. And so it's protection. You know, it's a big symbol of protection. So it's making it so that the kings that are there in Jerusalem can be attacked easily. You know, the Euphrates is basically how they're being saved. And so it's dried up. So the next thing that happens is there's an interlude. Now, there's always an interlude when it comes to these seconds, in between the 6th and the 7th. So during the seals, there was an interlude. During the trumpets, there was an interlude. And so here we have the bowls, and yet again, we have an interlude. So what happens here is basically it shows that God is just in what He's doing. But then it shows what's happening to the dragon, the devil, the beast, the Antichrist, and the second beast. And it's saying that unclean spirits are coming out of their mouth like frogs. I don't know exactly what that means, but what it's saying is that they are gathering all the kingdoms, you know, all the different rulers that they are rulers over, and it's telling them to come for the last stand, you know, the last battle. And it's telling them to go to the place that is called Armageddon. Now, this is the real place. You know, we can see it today. If you Google it, you can see it's actually, the Armageddon is really just the Mount Megiddo, or the Valley of Megiddo. It's really just kind of a plain, but it was a place that was often used as a place to have a war, because it was kind of, you know, there wasn't a lot of trees around. It's just kind of like this flat plain that's good for battle. So He's telling them, let's all get together. We're going to have this last stand at the Mount Megiddo. And then the last bowl comes. The last bowl is poured out, and there's a great earthquake. And it basically takes the great city, which I think is Jerusalem, And it splits it into 3. And it also has a lot of the judgments from before. You know, great hail, great storms, great thunder. And that's the end of it. You know, that's the judgment. Now there's more to come in this book, but that was the last series of 7s, and that was the last judgment of this. It was a great earthquake, and basically after it's done, everybody kind of curses God's name because it's so horrible. The hail and the fire and the storm and the earthquake are just so horrible. All they can think to do is to curse God. So anyways, that is Revelation chapter 16. Have a great day.